Hey, what's up? This is Matt Dietz, and this is Agency Launch. This is the show where I tell you what it's like to run an insurance agency. I've been doing this since 2004, and I have made all the mistakes for you. So I share stories of my past, things that I've done that have helped me, things that I've done that have hurt me. I also talk about things that I do on a week-to-week basis because I'm still running my shop today. And so I like to share stories from the field so that you can benefit. So if this has been beneficial for you, do me a favor and give me a review. I'd really appreciate it. Just go to Apple Podcasts on your phone, search for the show, click the review section, and give me some stars and a review. I'd really appreciate it. Hey, I got a question for you. Did you know the average American spends 2.5 hours on social media every single day? That's 25% of their free time. That's crazy. These are your clients and potential clients, and you have to be where they are spending time. You've heard me talk about how important it is to be active on social media, but sometimes you need a little boost. So let's talk about how you can up your social media game with Social Jazz. It's a new social media automation tool with content designed specifically for our industry. This does all the heavy lifting for you. You can plan an entire year of content through this platform. It's amazing. It does this by automatically publishing ready-made insurance-specific posts that educate, engage, and drive leads. All you have to do is pick a few topics and a few occasions from their catalog, link to your social media accounts, and you're on your way. Now, Social Jazz is offering my listeners a free 14-day trial plus 20% off the monthly subscription for your first 2 months. Sign up at socialjazz.com/Dietz and put your social media on autopilot. All right, so today I wanted to talk a little bit about dealing with our service centers. If you're an agent or an agency owner, or you work in an agency, you have a need to call and get help once in a while when there's an error or a mistake or you need clarification on something. So we're always calling, a service center. We have a question about billing. Maybe we have to talk to someone about claims. We've got life departments, and we've got commercial departments and personal line departments and underwriters and adjusters and all these people that make up, our team, so to speak. And lately, probably COVID related, for one reason or another, there have been long queues and long lines to wait. And it has become for a while now a real bone of contention for agents, because they'll sit on hold for 1, 2, or 3 hours to get an answer. And it's frustrating. I get that. And so I have some thoughts on that, and I don't know if it'll help or if it's, I just wanted to share a little bit. So back earlier in my career, I had 2 employees that worked for me. I hired them at the same time, and they were new to the industry, and they both worked for me. I don't know. One of them made it maybe 6 to 8 months. The other one maybe a year and a half. And we were busy. We were writing business, and I was probably 6 or 7 years in, and they were busy. And they got to a point where they're like, "Matt, we need help. We need you to hire someone else." And I wasn't quite so keen on that at the time because it's expensive to bring on someone new. So it was time to kind of maybe look at processes and see where they're spending their time and stuff like that. Well, not soon after that, one of them we had to let go because she had problems coming to work on time regularly. And that's just one of the things that, we worked with her schedule. I pushed her schedule back. You can come in at 9:30, you can come in at 10, and it just didn't matter what time I told her to start. She was always 15 to 30 minutes late. And it's just, she was really nice and did an okay job, but she just, we need some consistency. I can't guess when you're going to be coming into the office, so we had to let her go. And then we replaced her with someone who was great. And then the other one left, and we had to hire someone else. And the one that I hired to replace the first one we let go, we kind of stepped up and we hired someone from the industry and we upped what we were paying her and we just got a different level of employee. Okay. And then when the other one left and we replaced her with someone else, I had two really good employees. And, probably 60 to 90 days after that, once these two kind of got acclimated to our systems and everything, I didn't have to train them on product or sales, so their onboarding was quicker. My phone traffic slowed way down. Like it was noticeable. My phone wasn't blowing up like it was over the previous year, but my production was still healthy. And I gave pause to that. I was like, why is our phone traffic down? What's the story with that? And what I learned was that the phone traffic over the prior year or two was due to the fact that the employees that I had they were constantly making errors, and the errors needed to be fixed. And so they were calling clients to fix errors, and clients would have to call back with information, or they were calling service to fix something that they didn't do properly on the front end. There was a lot of fixing that needed to be done, which raised the level of call volume. And not only that, but the amount of time that they were spending was being spent on fixing things. Then my call volume went down, but my production didn't, which is outstanding, right? That's where I kind of learned the quality of your team can dictate, the level of service that is needed, because you don't have to service as much if you're giving great service and doing things right on the front end. So what I'm trying to say is, with all of the calling that's going into these service centers, I would ask you, if you're an agency owner or you're in an agency and you're calling service every day for something, maybe it's time to take a look at why you're placing those phone calls. Like, why are you calling service every day? I don't think that needs to be a daily phone call. Or even if you're not calling daily, if you're calling regularly, anytime you're calling service, maybe it's time to audit your outbound service phone calls and see what is happening. That way you can kind of see why you need to be, well, it's a simple way of saying, why are you calling them? Okay, are they because you're making mistakes? When you're submitting a home or auto, these are pretty rote transactions, right? They're just like, you got to put this stuff in and you got to hit enter and you got to submit it. Or you shouldn't have to call service if you're doing things properly on the front end. So if you and your team are spending a lot of time on service, I would spend some time, sit down with your team and say, hey, why'd you call service 4 times a day? Why do you have to call them 3 or 4 times a day? Is there anything that we can do on the ground, to cut this need for calling service by 20%, 30%, 50%, or something like that? There are also other resources. I know that you're not going to like this, but I know that Service Center will push you to say, well, do a search and try and find out the answer yourself. And as frustrating as that can be, and you're probably doing it, if you're not trying to figure it out yourself, then you should. All right, that should be the first thing. Meg in my office is really strong at researching things on her own. There are resources inside of all of our systems that will help us get answers. You got to know what you're looking for, and you got to know where to look. Now, our quote-unquote dashboard is kind of clunky, and it's kind of hard to find stuff, but that should be part of your training system, your onboarding, when you have a new employee come in and say, hey, look, I don't want you calling service until you have done this, this, or this. If service is the only place that can do these things or fix these things, then, of course, you're going to have to call service. But my plea to you is, fix what's happening on the front end, and if something needs to happen where you have to call service, make sure you've exhausted really all your options. On the flip side of that, I did have an employee once that over-researched things. She would spend hours trying to find an answer and I would tell her, I'd say, stop spending 2 hours trying to figure this out when a phone call will give you an answer in 10 minutes. Well, that 10-minute phone call obviously has extended into a wait time of 45 minutes or an hour. But if you're going to be on hold, I can't tell you how many times I have kind of haven't found what I'm looking for, and I'm on hold with service but I'm searching for the answer at the same time. And I swear to God, as soon as they pick up the phone, like, I find the answer. And, so just do your best when it comes to solving this problem on the ground yourself. If you need to do some additional training on your own, I would recommend you do it. If you need to train if you need to know where to find these answers, try and find them yourself. Share what you found with your team and just try and eliminate the mistakes. Okay. And that will cut down the amount of time you're spending on hold. All right. So that's my advice for you today. My name is Matt. This is Agency Launch. You can find me all over the place. Find me at agencylaunch.net, where my master class lives. Everything that I have learned in 17 years as an agency owner is in there. It's 13 hours of me teaching you how to sell, how to market, how to train your staff, how to hire staff, how to use social media, how to take care of your clients, how to tons of marketing ideas, how to build systems, how to sell policies that are more expensive, how to sell life, how to sell commercials, just everything. It's loaded. agencylaunch.net, and then send me a text, 208-213-8809. That is my community. You can hop in there and you can have direct access to me and ask me questions because I love helping you out. So there you go. Thanks a lot for listening. Keep up the good work.